Hey, you know what? I'm just going to pause this for a second. Okay, so it's Monday, April 11th, 2022. One video's already made. Working on this, I marked them both. I got 3 bolts in. It's almost 8 o'clock. I just had supper and I can't go any further. So I tell you more about that. But the other wheels are going to go on this side. And these are the wheels. A beautiful thing. You can see that, right? So these will go on the other side, right? You can see that, right? Yeah. Okay, so you got the idea. That there is the cart that I'm building. Now, the reason why I'm making this video as opposed to the other video, oh, I guess I should show you. Yeah. Getting rid of some glass, a whole bunch of glass. It's from those screens, right? So anyway, all that aside. Oh. Hey, did you ever hear that thing? Does it hurt yet? Yeah. So anyway, I should have this cart done tomorrow. Just gotta put the wheels on. Wait, what do you mean? It's taken me since 8:30 this morning when I woke up till after 10 o'clock before when I finished that first video. I came and started on this. So it took me an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to starting on this cart. And so far, it's taken till, now I stopped at 6 o'clock, right? So it's been almost 2 hours since I stopped working on this. Now, there's a reason why I gotta show you this, okay? Now, just hold on. It works. Sometimes. Oh, look at that. That's why it's not working. There we go. I moved the cords to sweep up and clean up. Ready? Okay, here we go. So. Now, when I'm drilling, sometimes, depending upon how I hold it, it will keep going. Today's the first time that has ever happened where it will, you know, obviously there's a short in it. So this is loose. The inside, you can hear just rattling around. So that's why it's taken me so long to drill 3 holes, which actually it ends up being 6 holes because there's a whole bunch more holes because both this piece had to be enlarged, and I'm enlarging it 1 hole at a time. But not only that, putting it onto here, as you can see with the other one, I had marked it in pencil, and when I put the first hole in, because they're exactly the same, putting the first hole in, I guess because I never clamped it or probably something like that, it went back like 4 millimeters. Yeah, I was holding it. That's why they make clamps, because just holding something does not guarantee it's going to stay there. So I gotta ask you. So I was doing all this work cleaning up, and I was like, seeing Buddy, and I had thanked him for giving me a message from my mom when she was here, and she was only here for like a day and a half, 2 days at the most. And he said, "Oh, your mom says give her a call." So I did, and I said thank you. Now I'd like to introduce an idea, or a view, or something that shapes your perception of language. Now, it's got nothing to do with people, organizations, politics, business, or religion. Throw all that away. If it fucks you up, throw that shit away. It's about people. That's it. Just people. Just normal people. Doesn't matter if they're an owner of a business, a religious person, somebody involved in politics, in a military, family, friends, somebody in a community. Does not matter. An organization you don't even know. The, the point is when you look at equality, and since I seen the on the basis of sex yesterday, I like to share with you. I said thank you, right? And then I got thinking about, oh, well, that was kind of him to share that message with me, and it was kind of me to say thank you. And then you look at intention, okay, and the reason why people do stuff. And this is why I ask you to take a look at language and the name of our planet Earth. If you change the letters around, it spells heart. And if you look at from birth to death, it's an ever constant change. The days change, we physically change, we change moment to moment. We learn stuff, we learn stuff that we already knew, and then all of a sudden we learn something new that changes our point of view. So how did they come up with the name Earth, right? Oh, Earth's from the ground. Man is from the ground. Some think, right? How would I know? I don't know. I'm like you. I was born into this world just like every living thing, from plants to water creatures to animals and people too, right? Doesn't matter if they're lizards, birds, none of it. Don't matter. Everybody, every living thing is born into the world, some way, somehow. Let's get back to the word earth. Earth means the ground, right? That's what I would think. And so somebody took the ground and called it terra, right? Also mean earth. And then they looked at shaping, landscaping, or terraforming, and and they started making sandcastles in the sand, right? And they looked, and they seen about education, experience, insight, hindsight, foresight, all these different things, all the stages people go through from from birth until death, right? So they're like, hey, I bet you if we take and create a word that means the earth, and we create other words that correspond to the earth, but also to the heart, right? Earth, heart, right? So we'll call the planet Earth, but if you arrange the letters differently, they'll mean the heart. Now, what's the difference between kindness and being polite? And this is where looking at language shapes your feelings and your point of view. Because if I'm being polite, I will say thank you. If I'm doing something nice for someone, doesn't matter who, I can say thank you, right? Out of being polite. That's what I was taught. I could say thank you and mean it full heartedly, right? This is gratitude. I'm so glad you told me to give my mom a call. Thank you. That's real. Kindness. Hey, thank you. It's done with an attitude where I am happy to say thank you, even though I'm not emotionally heartfelt driven to say thank you because it was just information you passed on to me that doesn't strike me emotionally, and yet you're doing this because even though it's not important, let's say it was some other message, a delivery service came by and said, hey, let him know or the occupant know that their parcel has arrived. We were here. We did not leave it outside for anybody to take, so they can come and pick it up at the office between office hours. So it's not like an emotional thing, but because he did it, and kindness just kind of is is a little bit different from a heartfelt thanks where, hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you, right? Real gratitude. It's more along, and it's not being polite because being polite is just like saying sorry when you're not sorry. Oh, you must be Canadian. Sorry for everything. And sorry is empty, right? You see what I'm saying there, right? So when kindness, people say, hey, I don't care who you are as long as you're kind. Who might not be your kind, might not be my kind, because everybody has a different view of respect. Everybody has a different view of kindness. And this is what I'm trying to get to you. So just because everybody likes kindness, that's normal. Why? Because even though I am not emotionally driven to be kind, I, it makes me feel good to do good things. And I don't have to be emotionally charged to do something good in a kind way, right? And just like respect or self-respect, right? I don't have to respect this person, that person, or anybody else. Nobody has to respect me. I was not raised that way. See, I don't view respect as You better respect me or I'll beat some respect into you, right? Of course not, you know. But some people are taught only through me being stronger than you will I ever command respect from you, right? I mean, this is mentality, right? This is my approach to getting respect from from inferior people. Let's just call it that way. And inferior people is anyone who is unable to physically, financially, or in any other way leverage me to respect them, right? But they will respect me, right? That kind of thing, right? And this is where the idea of an iron fist is teaches respect through power, physical power. Now, the problem with an iron fist and or an iron cross or anything else that deals with gaining power over someone in any way. It can be emotional, physical, financial, can be in any way. That's why they call it leverage, right? How do I make you respect me? How do I make you love me? How do I make you anything, right? So when you look at respect, some people are taught respect only comes if you're physically, financially, or any way able to leverage their respect for you. The idea of in awe, oh my God, so powerful, respect, right? I know I'm making a joke of it because it is a joke. It's a joke because you have a world where everything on the planet has emotions. And depending upon how you treat and how you view and how you go about dealing with other life forms on the planet, and it can be people, it can be farm animals, it can be wildlife, it can be aquatic life. In all aspects, depending upon your intention to that life form, it can be the plants. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put a plant here. I'm going to focus and talk to this plant and say all the good things. This one here, I'm going to focus all my negative energy into it just to see if I call it supper or if I call it whatever it is, a derogatory term, let's say. Oh, look, Earth, and we're terraforming it, right? We're changing the landscape and we're raping the planet of all its precious resources because not everybody is the same, and everybody lives by codes, laws, rules that, oh, you don't think of this way? Why no. We were raised in this culture as opposed to that culture. And so you have all these people in different classes and different cultures and different societies that are like, hey, why do you do that? Oh, we do this because of this. This is why we do this. And you see that prearranged marriages and all these different things that contribute to the shaping of a society or a culture, right? And they're all different around the world because not everybody fits into a box. Some people are rectangles, other people are triangles, other people are circles, other people have nothing to do with geometry and they just say, hey, I'm just over here eating fruits and veggies and please stay away from me because I am not square, I am not rectangle, I am not a pyramid, I'm not a triangle, I am not a anything. I'm just a human being trying to get by like most other people. Hey, that's a good one. I like you. I like you. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, so just the simple name of Earth and calling the planet Earth, but knowing that it's made up with the same letters of heart, is your first clue to the planet that you live on. It's an emotional planet and it is shaped by the people interacting with each other, right? So if I have created a thing where I will walk on the outside or the inside of a road, depending upon who's with me or who's not with me. Oh no, I always walk closest to the houses because I know they're drunk drivers, regardless of who's with me. Now, who's with me happens to be a female, I might walk on the inside or the outside, depending upon what she, because I met women who I can't even fathom why they would take the outside, but some girls do. And I don't know why they do that, and it's just maybe it was the way they're raised, or maybe it's a test, or maybe they have no self-respect, or they have no respect for the man they're with. Because I've seen this, and maybe it's a new trend of society where it doesn't matter if the girl walks on the inside or the outside, right? So watching on a basis of sex and seeing how the new generations are changing how things are done. And I asked in sharing some writings with taking a picture and writing, I was like, well, how did it become a quote unquote man's world, right? Because it had to become a man's world somehow. And you look and you see Queen or Cleopatra was the leader in Egypt. You see women leaders all around the world, right? You see people of all races leaders, men and women. You hear stories of the Amazons, right? So that's why I say, and that's why I wrote on paper, you live in a world that will give you all the rope you need to hang yourself. Now, in a world like that, and you see this changing, and you see how it keeps on doing whatever it is it does, what's the right question to ask? Well, it depends upon your answer that you're looking for, knowing that no matter what answer you come up with, you could be wrong. I'm always wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. There's some things I'm right about that I wish I was wrong about, but this is life, and that's why it's called Earth and not Heart, right? Because we live in a world that changes people's loyalties. It changes people's emotions. So whether I use exercise or food or legal or illegal drugs to change my emotional state from caring so much to, hey, I don't care, go ahead, doesn't bother me. And when you say that truthfully and you actually don't care, what do they call that? Well, they got two different terms for it. One, because you can have a surgical lobotomy or you can have a chemical lobotomy. And I'm not sure, but I'm under the impression electrolysis or using electricity might also be able to give you a lobotomy too, but I don't actually know. That's why you have people out here in all cultures and societies, as far as I know, who self-medicate not knowing the proper term of what they're doing. They're giving themselves a lobotomy. And if we change the description or change the terminology from lobotomy and you say, well, what else could we call that? People who don't care, we also call them, come on, you know this, right? People who are detached from their emotional state that allows them to do the most horrific of things, from working in occupations that would make other people vomit or something to this extent, right? When you become desensitized and you are able to separate from your emotions, you might be labeled a psychopath, right? And not all psychopaths are serial anything. I mean, if I needed to go slaughter something, I could get a job doing that. Yeah. And there are people who do that. Some enjoy their work, some do not. They do it because, just like many other people, we don't enjoy going to work. We do it because the people we love need us to be responsible and to, to, to try to provide for them the best we can. And depending upon the level of our education, as well as our audacity or our gonads, our balls, or any other terminology you use for self-confidence, a lot of us might work driving a cab. We hear about that, right? Hey, I got a university education. What are you doing driving a cab for? Well, you know, everybody else got a job as a physicist. Yeah, so now the rest of us got to drive a cab. Because, you know, we're not smart enough to, like, get a real job. And of course, by saying that, I just angered every rickshaw and everybody who drives transport, because even if you're not driving a person around in a cab or an Uber or something to this effect, they might be driving food around or they might be driving cargo around. They're a chauffeur to things that are not human. And they could be living and not living. Hey, I chauffeur around these plants. Hey, I chauffeur around these fruits and vegetables. Yeah, well, I chauffeur around these hogs, right? Yeah. So I just angered everybody. But I didn't. Because if you actually took that personally, that's on you. It's not on me, and it's not on the rest of the world. Because if you look and you see, oh, look, we all work, and just like at the slaughterhouse or taxidermist or mortuary or anything else, somebody's got to clean up that crime scene. Do you want to do it? Yeah, that's right. So somebody got to do it. So that's why you can't judge somebody by their occupation. They are doing it because they love somebody, even if they're single. They still have parents. Have you ever seen The Jerk? Really good movie. Anyway, you'll have to see the movie to understand there are people who actually try to help out their family, whether they're single or in a relationship with somebody who they're trying to build a family with, right? And that's what most normal people do, because most normal people live on Earth. Hey, was this entertaining? Was this fun? Was this interesting? Do you feel the same way I do when you look at language and you go, oh, so my child or my parent or my sibling or somebody is giving themselves a lobotomy and they don't even know it? Or maybe, oh, look, this group here is trying to teach emotional control without actually sharing the idea that, oh, we're all emotional, and that's what martial arts and all these other practices, from religion to exercise to school, and just getting along with social interactions that teach social emotional intelligence so that you can understand what that person is trying to get at. They don't need a little thought bubble. You don't need ESP. You don't need to read the signs or body language or even the tone of voice. You just gotta ask. Could you clarify what you mean? And because there are people, writers, paperback writer by the Beatles, or the Hollies. I wrote you a letter. I was hoping you'd read between the lines. There are people who talk between the lines because they don't want to offend somebody, because they're being polite or they're being kind. And it's when somebody is full-heartedly mad or happy or something and they're not acting, this is when you know a sorry is real. This is when you know a thank you is real. It's not kindness and it's not being polite. They are actually thanking you because if you didn't give them that message, if you didn't send those flowers, if you didn't send your condolences, or you see what I'm saying. Because when people matter, it's good for everybody, right? So I'm not going to go and piss somebody off so that they become a weapon and are used to hurt the people they love. See, that's when you have the difference of teachings and difference of people in society. Because when I go to jail or anyone goes to jail and they take what they are taught in jail and they apply it to the innocent people out in society, and they go around teaching your kids or your friends' kids, you see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they are teaching kids that aren't in jail about being the mentality and the strategies that are used in jail. So when you see people going from continent to continent, or from this group to that group to another group, then you understand, just like a virus, just like a disease, just like a mentality, or seed planting, ideas are seeds and you watch them grow, right? So if I give this idea to somebody, look, little buddy now going and doing it. Where do you get that from, Jane? I don't know. I thought you taught him. Her. It. You see what I'm saying, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like the dad in traffic or the mom in traffic. Baby's in a car seat in the back, and she just has to vent, or he has to vent. Fuck you! And then all of a sudden, a little voice, fuck you. I heard that in stand-up comedy, and to this day, it just makes my day. But you see, I never thought that